I don't know why inclusion has gotten such a great name. First of all, almost anyone is talking about inclusion. If you actually scratch the surface, they're talking about exclusion almost immediately.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, in order for my people to be included, you guys have to shut up. So it's really interesting that you have a movement for like diversity and inclusion that instantaneously tries to make life less diverse and more exclusive. Then you have all these other weird things you can just notice in your own mind. So for example, if somebody advertises, we are going to be going to an inclusive public island on this trip. That's not compelling. But if we say exclusive private island, suddenly people are willing to part with money, right? Oh, he had a public chef. Oh, no, a private chef. Oh, well, that's really interesting. Yeah. So in the same breath, we have to look at our own hypocrisy and realize that exclusion and exclusion go together. There's no way to separate them. So just the way, I often talk about promoter and repressor being things that live on our chromosomes to either make more of a protein or less of a protein to keep something from being transcribed. Every religion and tribe has inclusion and exclusion functions, and they have to, otherwise they wouldn't exist. Right. So there's nothing wrong with exclusivity. What we measure is, well, on what basis did you exclude?
Yeah.
And
I love that, man. So there's a balance that we need to have with inclusion and exclusion.
Well, this is the weird thing. Like, there's this little bit in Ecclesiastes that somehow we forgot, and I talk about it a lot these days because in the 60s, there was this song, Turn, 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 that I guess, the Byrds and Pete Seeger and company, just brought from Scripture. And it talks about that there's a time to kill, and a time to refrain from killing or whatever it is. Yeah. We can't even talk about that now because it's that hippie sentiment about there being a time for every purpose under heaven is now under assault. Like, we now feel like there is never a time to exclude. There's never a time to kill. There's never a time to silence. There's never a time to shame. Well, that's nonsense. The key issue is, are we doing these things in an adaptive way? This is our toolkit. So shaming and canceling. I'm against cancel culture. But I'm not against the idea that some people have to be removed from society by making them pariahs because they're really evil. I just think it's a terrible idea to advance that anyone, to the right of Bernie Sanders has to be, excluded from polite society. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. Well,